Hey Facebook fans, Dan Engmark here, DSA Aquatics. I'm in our resource center. We're about to install a 120-gallon aquarium. So we put our cabinet down on the floor. This is where we'd like it to go, and lo and behold, the floor is not level. So how are we going to properly install this on an unlevel floor? I'm going to show you. We're going to do that with a series of shims, basically to push the bottom of the cabinet up, level everything off so the tank is perfectly square, flat, and plumb. We're going to use a composite shim that'll go between the floor and the stand. We'll tap it in there and gently raise that cabinet up. When we're done, we're going to break it off. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. So before we get going, it's important to look at the tools that are going to be required to make this happen. The first thing that we're going to need is a trusty level. In this case, I'm going to use two. I'm going to use a 4-foot level, and I'm going to use a 2-foot level. I'm going to set one here, and I'm going to set one here. Before we go any further, common shims are made of wood, not very good for an aquarium, mainly because we think it's going to get wet. It's an aquarium, you could spill some water. So we're going to use a composite shim, like I showed you before, or we can also use a little metal washer that you can get all this stuff at Home Depot. Strongly recommend the steel and the composite shims. So I'll check the level here. I'll be right back. Well, as you can see, I've got the levels on the stand, and believe it or not, this corner here is low. So we're going to have to fix that. I'm going to use the composite shim and just a little tool of the trade, a piece of 2x4. All you do is slide the shim down and gently tap like this until it's level, almost done. And one of the tips that I learned a long time ago when you're leveling a cabinet is to go to the lowest point and work from there backwards. That's the fastest and easiest way. In this case, 1/4 inch shim was enough to get the cabinet level. But if you're at home and you're looking at it and you still have rocking, you may have to stack the shims. Not like this, but like this. That'll give you a base to work from. Again, bring the bottom of the cabinet up and support the aquarium fully. The next step, of course, is to check the other 3 corners to make sure that you have a solid foundation. Believe it or not, we had to shim up this whole end of the aquarium. So the final step is to fill in the gaps. One last tip before I let you go. It's extremely important. Anywhere where there's a vertical support, in this case the 4 corners and one in the center, you make sure that you have a shim and that the stand and the floor are connected with that shim. And that's the way you properly install a stand.